when I speak, y'all. Whenever somebody says FAMU, y'all clap. When everybody says Miami Northern Senior High School, y'all clap. And everybody from Northwestern has to leave. It's all good. First, Director Junior, thank you for inviting me. It's really my pleasure to be here. This is my first graduation for corrections. I've never been to one. I knew they happened, but this is truly an honor and a pleasure for me. Let me just say, graduates, you all give your family members a round of applause. Really. I know, right? Listen, I know it's their day, but their day was preceded by you all having to put up with them. You all having to support them. You all having to pray for them. You all have to watch them come home all sore and complaining. You all reassuring them that this moment was only a moment. They were going to get past this, they're going to get through this, and they're going to be successful. And so anytime I'm at a graduation, I see the graduates, but I also see the family members who are in the audience. Because I know that when I graduated from Norland, look, if you went to Norland, you know Miss Link, right? Yeah, Miss Link, she told my mom I wasn't going to graduate. I told her mom the devil's a liar. But when I graduated, I walked across that stage with my mom. You know, when I made it through FAMU, I walked across that stage with my mom and my dad. When I graduated from law school, I walked across that stage for them and with them because I couldn't be there without them, and you all wouldn't be here without your family members. So I definitely give you I was asking the director what words of wisdom I should, impart to you all, and we talked about the idea of public service, and we're going to get to that. But I always hear my bio, and I think that bios are inherently misleading because they talk about conclusions. And this is kind of relevant to the graduates, but it's relevant to all of us also. So you'll hear about Northern, but you don't hear about how hard it was to graduate because I wasn't a disciplined student in high school. I struggled. You'll hear about FAMU, but you won't hear about the time when I was living in a car, working at Walmart night receiving. And they giving me $2,000 worth of parking tickets that I couldn't pay. Trying to graduate. You'll hear about University of Miami and honors, but you won't hear about me waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning and catching the 27 down to the Metro Rail station. You won't hear about me catching the Metro Rail and going to UM's law school. And my dad picking me up every night and asking me what I learned every night. Bios, they tell how it ended, but they are an inaccurate picture of how you got here. And so that's how I got here. That's who I am. I'm that kid, I'm still that kid who walked down 175th to 27th Avenue and got on the bus at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm that kid, and so I understand and I value all of these moments, not just for me, but for all of you, for all of the graduates. Because I know that the work that it took to get here, this is a graduation, it's commencement, and it's a commencement. You're graduating as a class, but you're commencing the rest of your life. It's the beginning of something. And so when I speak to audiences at graduations, generally what I talk to them about is the importance of right now. How many of you all have ever said, I'm going to lose weight and I'm going to start my diet on Monday? No, be honest. Be honest. I see you. I know you. Listen, the thing is, I promise y'all something. Failure starts on Monday and success starts right now. Success starts right now. It starts in this very moment. This very moment when you all are graduating, you graduate as people who will give meaning to the words and the oath that you took. It starts right now. It starts right now. You determine right now how you would treat the people in your custody. You determine right now that you're going to be what you need to for your family, but also for this community. Because sometimes when people think about law enforcement, they don't think about corrections officers. Trust me, you all are law enforcement, and we need you for this community to be safe. worthy of service because you do something that others won't. You go places that they fear. You encounter people that they're afraid of. In situations that are always less than ideal. And if you're in the paper, it will not be for something good. But for every bad thing that happens, you all do a million things that are extraordinary. And on behalf of a grateful community, it's not just Miami Gardens, but Miami-Dade County, I say thank you for that. Because your service, in a lot of ways, is unacknowledged. And that's kind of, we can't change that necessarily. But just because it isn't acknowledged doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It does exist, and it's real. It's real, and what you're embarking on today is real. And I appreciate that. You know, there is one thing that I would just read to you all. It's the actual original oath. And so sometimes when I was sworn in as a lawyer, I took an oath, and when you all were sworn in as law enforcement, you all take oaths, and when I'm sworn in as a mayor, I take an oath. Well, the original oath actually dates back to Athens. And it's interesting. It says, "We will never bring disgrace on this, our city, by an act of dishonesty or cowardice. We will fight for the ideals and sacred things of the city, both alone and with many. We will revere and obey the city laws, and we will do our best to incite a like reverence and respect in those above us who are prone to annul them or set them at naught. We will strive unceasingly to quicken the public's sense of civic duty. Thus, in all these ways, we will transmit this city, not only not less, but greater and more beautiful than it was transmitted to us." That's the Athenian oath. 16-year-old boys in Athens all said that. The idea behind the oath wasn't that your public service would be perfect, but that you would never stop trying and you would leave the situation, in that case the city, in your case the people who you were encountered and the system, better than it was when you got here. That's the origin of all our oaths. That's the origin of my oath as a mayor. That's the origin of a police officer's oath. There's the origin of firefighters' oaths. That's the origin. Correct. That is how it begins. It begins with the idea that we're going to work with each other. And we're going to work to make this better. And when we are finished, when our labor is done, what we leave behind is going to be better than what we found. I encourage you all to move forward with that idea, that you can do great things together, and that you will leave this place better than you found it. I would be remiss if not just, and that's the end of my official remarks, but there's a young lady who's graduating in this class. I did not know she was graduating in this class. I was looking out in the audience, actually, and my entire parks department is here. Like they're in the back right there. Ain't nobody at Buccaneer Park. Nobody on the front desk of the community center. The phones are all going to voicemail. Alicia ain't processing no purchase orders. Ain't nobody getting paid. Yeah, Paulette, you ain't got no parts to bill. Right? Sandra, I see you over there. Uniforms ain't getting passed out. But we're going to excuse all y'all absences. Consider yourself excused. But we're going to do that because Brandy's graduating. So, listen, and Brandy, I will tell you, go ahead, Brandy, raise your hand. That's fine. She's on the hand right there. She's going to laugh on that, yeah. So Brandy's part of the Miami Gardens family. And I was actually sad to see her leave the city. But I'm so very happy for her. And she's actually an example of what character and intelligence and hard work is when it purposes itself to move forward. Congratulations, Randy. From me and the rest of your family. Thank you all very much.